Sister Souljah, Columbus, Georgia. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Just two questions, two short ones. The first one is, I'd like to know why she keeps referring to black Americans as Africans. And secondly, I'd like to know why she thinks that white people ought to continue to be responsible for the upbringing of black youth, black inner cities.
All right, sister.
Okay, the first answer is this. I call myself an African person because our people originated in Africa. So when you find African people in Jamaica, in Haiti, in Latin America, in Brazil, in various places in the world, they're still African people, even though they were born in that place. And I'm very proud of the fact that I am an African person.
And what about white Americans and educating black Americans?
The second question is strange because I just gave an entire bunch of comments about independence and self-sufficiency, and he's asking me why I think white people should raise the children, which is indicative of the fact that he has a problem. I do think, however,
you're saying the opposite, right?
I was saying the opposite. I do think, however, that as long as African people in this country are taxpayers, that we have impact on the American government, and that we should say how dollars are advocated to the upliftment of our people.
Seattle, Washington for Sister Souljah. Seattle, are you there? Okay, Seattle, goodbye. We go to Washington, D.C. Hello.
Hello. I'd like to know exactly how Sister Souljah might feel about a comment that was made by a white D.C. disc jockey who made reference to Martin Luther King Day by saying, we get a day off from Martin Luther King. Why don't we kill a few more of them and get a week off?
Now, in fairness, that was many years ago, and he apologized for that many, many times.
Well, I can still answer her question.
Sure, I'm sure. I just want to set the record straight.
I think that that's indicative of white racism in America, but one thing about white racism in America is it's very subtle, and every now and then somebody will pop out and say what they really think, but the thing that kills African people in America is not what white people say, but what they do, their policies, their actions, and how it affects African people domestically and internationally.
Camp Wingfoot, Ohio. Hello.
Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Sister, I really appreciate what you're doing, but I'd like to ask you, what do you think is the difference between you and a David Duke, and why don't you take some of that money you spend on your expensive jewels and give it to the African people you're talking about?
Okay, I'll answer the first part first.
Well, Clinton compared you to Duke, so it's a fair question.
Oh, I have no problem with the question. You can ask me anything you want to ask me. First of all, David Duke was a member of the KKK, Ku Klux Klan, which is a terrorist organization that advocates and does perform the murder of African people and has, over a period of 150 years, killed African people, burnt down our houses, blown up our churches, killed our children, and hung our men from trees. Sister Souljah does not own a gun, has never shot anyone, has never killed anyone, does not have a criminal record, and has never been a member of a terrorist organization that advocates the murder of white people. The other thing is, in terms of my jewels, I think that's a very paternalistic attitude that you have. And most white people tend to think that African people as individuals should not enjoy any of the benefits of their material accomplishments, even though we have to work twice and 3 times as hard as white people in order to get it. The other thing, excuse me, that you should know is that I do support various causes for the upliftment of African children back in my community in Harlem and in Brooklyn, and that I encourage young people to develop businesses by giving them money and running contests to stimulate the thoughts about entrepreneurship in our community.
One more thing I want to discuss with you. Your thoughts on Ice-T. Vice President Quayle today attacked Time Warner, the company that owns the recording company he records for, because of his statements about killing police officers in his rap music. I haven't heard your thoughts on that.
My thoughts is that America refuses to deal with white supremacy and racism, so what they do is run around attacking everybody who's African and outspoken. Ice-T, Public Enemy, Minister Farrakhan, Anybody that has an opinion or who's pissed off at the fact that we're beat down, brutalized, and when we go and seek justice in the courts, we still cannot get it. So I'm not surprised that they're attacking Ice-T. The other thing I wanted to say is this, that you take a guy like Quayle and you really start to understand racism. Here is a man who has absolutely no intelligence, political savvy, or understanding of the majority of people in the American society. But just simply because he's white and born into a privileged family, he can actually run around and pretend to be the vice president of this country.
Do you like Ice-T's music?
I am not a person that purchases Ice-T's music, but I certainly support his right to express himself.
Thanks very much, Sister Souljah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
My pleasure. Sister Souljah joining us on Larry King Live.